Welcome to the Journal Star Sportswriters podcast with the Rivermen edition. We've got Zach Nieminen. I got it. I got it.
Perfect.
Oh, I was so worried about that. Head coach Jean-Guy Trudel and the voice of the Rivermen, Andrew Mossbrooks. We're going to have a nice conversation because you guys have had a busy week. You know, you're adding players, Coach.
Yeah, crazy week again. Yeah, Peoria week, I guess. That's what we call it. Good week for the players. Where Jacob Reichard got called up on Saturday night, which is great. And then we had Theo Calvis called up, and then we had Jake Anderson got a job in Italy, which he wanted to go play in Europe. So yeah, busy week for us. And then we brought in 2 new players, and one practiced a few days, one day. So let's see how it goes, man. We're like you know how it works. We're retooling and finding players every week, so it's good.
You keep collecting these small, undersized guys. Zach, say his last name.
Boursois.
Yeah.
Or Boursois, or whatever you want to call him. Yeah.
Whatever.
My name got butchered enough in the U.S. We can butcher his too.
Trudel.
Yeah, Trudel. Yeah.
Did somebody actually call you that?
Oh, they call me Jean-Guy or
Jean-Guy was
classic.
common.
Jean
on another one. Yeah. So whatever they want to call me.
He's a D-man.
Correct.
6'3", 225.
Yeah, he's a big D-man. He's long reach, good stick, smart hockey player. Played 4 games in Adirondack. I had a good conversation with a player there. Remember Alex Carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he called me, talked to me about him, and then I was lucky enough, his agent was Nick Riopel, a French guy from the Montreal area that played pro hockey and just became an agent. So
it's that guy. Okay.
Yeah, got a great conversation and with both. And I think they talked very highly of us too here in Peoria, so that's why I decided to come. He had offers, I guess, from 7 or 8 teams from our league. Everybody wanted him, and he waited a week, and then the kid just wants to play. He's a rookie. He wants to be on the ice, which is exactly what players should be doing, like jumping on the ice, getting your reps, getting your pro reps, and then getting better every single day, building confidence. And if he does get the call again, he'll be ready to go.
And the other one is a forward, Robin Hoagland or Hoagland?
Yeah, Robin just got in last night. Another big forward, 6'2", 6'3", but he has better wheels than expected. He was flying out there today. One practice under his belt, so this weekend we're not going to play him special teams and stuff, but he's going to have his regular shift, and he's excited. He's been waiting home. He got released from Evansville. He's been waiting home for a while there. He was in Wisconsin for a bit, so he's waiting there. And I've been thinking about him for a little bit now that we had an opportunity to bring him in. I don't like to bring guys in and not give him a great opportunity. Right. So now with everybody missing, with call-ups and everything, we have plenty of room to play him on the top 3 lines and give him a lot of minutes. And of course, special teams, I always say you have to be around us for a while to understand our rotation, so it's going to be hard to plug him in there. But I think regular shift, and I wouldn't be worried. He's actually a pretty smart player, has great wheels, and he looks like he's got that Peoria in him. He goes nonstop, and he's excited to be here.
So he's more of a high motor guy with size?
Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Euro style.
Yeah. He's got a motor. I was impressed this morning. I was really happy, and he told me he's been skating, but it's not the same as regular practice, and he got in there, and he didn't miss a beat, and he was good.
Who's going to play with who this weekend?
We have a few different combinations going. Just for different reasons, to be honest with you, Nemo here, I'm going to put with McPherson and our new guy Robin Hoagland. Nebo, if you look at tapes lately, he's not even a center, but I've been putting him on center, and he's phenomenal down low right now, and I trust him a lot. And so I'm going to put him with those 2 guys, and it seems like everybody that plays with Nemo this year just has great games. So we're gonna plug those 2 guys there with Nemo, and then we're gonna keep Hageman with Ernst, and then we put in the middle. We put Bayer, that's on fire right now. The kid's really playing well. And then
that was a great pickup.
I was really happy, and I think the last week or so he's really coming. He's turned it on another notch. And I always say if you get 70 points in Major Junior in the Western League he played, I think it was Western League. You're a good player.
His size in that league too.
Correct. So he's starting to become himself again. And then we have Carvalho with Dion and McCormick, and then we'll have Sandy as a 10 forward going out there and just doing what he does.
Andrew, I talk to you almost every day, and I know you'd like to deep dive into trends and statistical things. What's coming up this weekend in these 2 games, individual, player-wise, team-wise?
Well, I mean, last weekend we had a pretty cool stat. I'll say that. Ben Escoba played in his 300th game with the Rivermen, and he's getting very close. I think he's 26 away from hitting 10th all-time in games played with the Rivermen. This weekend, McCormick's got goals in 8 straight, so if he were to get 9 straight, I don't have the stat in front of me, but I believe only 4 players, and maybe 4 or 5 players in SPHL history have scored goals in 9 consecutive games. He's the first Peoria Riverman since Chris Wilson in 15-16, who scored 10 goals in 8 games. McCormick also has 10 goals in 8 games. So, I mean, he's been really red hot, and obviously, I mean, the team's 8-0-1. Coach and I talked about it before we got here with Quad City coming up. You know, the Storm are 4-4-2, so point-wise, it looks like we're a lot better, but really skill-wise, I mean, it's a really good team that just had a rough road trip having to play Huntsy and then Pensacola back-to-back games, but it'll be a good weekend. It'll be good to be back home, too, Saturday.
Looking through, that 8-gamer is tied with a player in the ECHL. So he's right now, McCormick is matched the longest goal-scoring streak in pro hockey this year so far. So it would be cool to see him get to 9. But he's losing his centerman.
Yeah, well, that's for a shift. You know me, my lines are good for a shift. And then after that, we'll see how it goes. But
I imagine he was in your office like, what's going on here?
Oh, no, I'm told where I play, and I play there.
Yeah, it's. I think everybody's on the same page on the team. They know we change things a lot, and they're okay with it. And it seems like Nemo always finds a way to get back with McCormick. And usually
Nemo's a smart player.
Usually Reichs or Hartsey. So, but no, we're happy with all our lines, no matter what. We trust every one of them, and I think right now, like we said, Bayer stepping up his game, and Jordo's always been really good defensively, and I think Nemo here has become probably one of our best. Defensive forwards. So for us, and you know me, how I build my teams from center. And on, and they're doing a great job, and I think that's the reason we're 8-0. I think everybody's just doing their job, and that's how you win a lot of hockey games.
Well, you made your first voyage to Macon since we last had you in here, and
NyQuil helps you sleep.
Yeah, I thought they must have drugged you a little bit. You were lauding how nice it was to be on the sleeper bus.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as a sleeper bus.
I don't know, when we got on the way back, which I feel like you always dread the way back more than the way there, because it's just like, now I just want to get home. Like, I don't even have games to look forward to. But we got on the bus. I hung out with the guys for like 2 hours. We watched NHL Network, and then I fell asleep, and when I woke up, we were 20 minutes from the Civic Center. So
he's blessed.
You
let him get away with that?
We had 2 sleeps like that on the way there, too. We slept like a baby all the way.
With my Flyers blanket.
With his Flyers
blanket. You're no Norm Ulrich. He would have gone through a carton of cigarettes on that trip. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I woke up once in New Orleans on that bus, and we were just parked on the street was so narrow that we were stuck. And we had to try to back up all the way back through the boulevard.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, you could have opened the window on each side of the bus and touched the houses. It was...
now, when you get to Macon, though, and you find out in the press box you've got a centerized view, however,
you've got a giant spotlight.
I've got my color commentator as a telescope that sits to my left and basically hangs off my shoulder. Speaking of hanging, we get there and they talk about the scoreboard up at center ice. And I think they said, I can't remember the terminology. I don't mess with any arena stuff. But there was something that the Jumbotron that they use for basketball that they don't use for hockey. It's like right up to the ceiling. And if you've seen the Centerplex, it's kind of like a pyramid-like style. So it's up at the top on a point. And they said something that like it was hanging with one less thing. I don't know. It was like one less chain than usual or something.
Oh, God.
And the one guy jokes with us. I mean, it could fall at any minute. But so I told Coach, I'm like, I think our keys to the game tonight should be avoid the neutral zone.
Tell the players not to go at center.
Very quick transition through neutral zone. I mean, it could fall down at any moment.
And really have your head up. Make sure you look the whole time.
Really a slogan for that whole building, as I remember walking through it.
Yeah, but I will say, though, Alex Von Kudel, who does their director of broadcasting and stuff, I mean, from what he's in control of, he was fine. He was great, helped me out a lot. So, I mean, I was
they got his
helpful.
pictures.
And we got wins.
Yeah.
So you couldn't ask for much more.
Kind of destroyed that season there, too, in the process. That's
Yeah,
another thing,
that's a
Coach.
tough one.
You know, Leo Thomas, of course, former Rivermen player, a call up here for a weekend, and was head coach at Macon, and boom, 4 straight losses to Peoria and 6 in a row overall.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't won since they faced you, and now he's out. You know, he's gone.
Yeah, they hadn't lost in regulation since they faced us, and so that's. And you know, we have our fraternity. Like, this is part of our fraternity, the coaching world. And I right away when I saw it, I sent Leo a text right away, and I'm careful of calling guys when it just happened. You know, you don't want to get those. So I sent him a text, and I know he's going to land on his feet. Great person, Leo. Great person, great coach. I understand also, I always said this, when I took the job as a coach, it was to get fired. You know it's going to be coming. You know it's going to come one day. Unfortunately for Leo, it happened now. But what a great guy, what a great coach. And it's a tough world, man. It's, you know, you live in an era in the SPHL where we want our guys to get called up. We want our guys to move on. We want our guys to have success.
Right.
When you do that, you lose good players. I mean, sometimes you lose wins, and then all of a sudden you get fired. So it's a livelihood of a man, and a lot of people don't understand that because you're in sports. It's supposed to happen, but that guy's got a family. Like that guy. I mean, that guy's got a lot of things. So, and when you get in that fraternity, and you know all the things that those guys go through or what they have at home, it breaks your heart to see a guy losing his job. That's for sure.
It's not uncommon in this league for moves in season. Fayetteville has had 8 guys as head coach since Peoria joined the league. Peoria's had just you.
Yeah. Poor.
In terms of years of service, you and Glenn down there in Huntsville are the elder statesman since Peoria joined the league.
Yeah, and that's just...
And he survived an 11-win season.
He did, and again, I think it's, he's got a good name, he's got a good relationship there, and it's going to happen that you have bad years. It's going to happen. Like, I remember my first year, we started 3-7 and something before we were righting the ship. So... when you're younger as a coach, you don't realize all those things. Like, a guy gets fired, he gets fired. But once you've been in the fraternity for a while, your heart goes to those guys because they do have families. It's their livelihood. They're proud. They're proud men. They, they're doing their best to win hockey. Nobody wants to lose. I mean, they're doing their best to win hockey games. And unfortunately, sometimes I think it just happens that you kind of lose your team a little bit. And it's nothing against the coach. It's nothing against the players. It's just human nature. It's just going to happen sometimes. And when, like I said, when you get hired as a coach, you have to know you're going to get fired one day. So that comes with the business.
You're blessed with an ownership and a situation here where you don't have to look over your shoulder for this, do you?
I do.
Really?
I think it's just the way I am. I don't think it has anything to do with Bart, because Bart and the ownership groups are absolutely phenomenal to me. I think it's more me. I'm wired in a way that I feel like every single day I have something to prove. When we lost that game on Friday, an example, when I got at the hotel, that was my fault. Like, it was my fault. I should have done more that week. I gave the guys, we had the ice situation, and I don't think we practiced hard enough to be ready for that game. So I think it's just the way you're wired sometimes. So I'm always nervous. I don't want to lose my job. I have the best job in the world, and I want to make sure I work hard enough to keep that job. So maybe that's why I go over the top on different things, but that's just the way I'm wired. I'm always looking over my shoulder. I love what I do, and I don't want to lose it, so I make sure I put all the effort possible in it so we can win every single game, so I don't have to worry about that.
Well, you're sure wired to make the moves that have to be made during the course of a season, and one of them involves this guy right here. I mean, Zach was in your training camp, and you let him go right at the end, and then quickly brought him back, real quickly.
Yeah, and that's what I always say. My decisions are not always the right decisions, and I make sure the players know that. When Zach came back, I told him, I made a mistake. We missed you. And when I talked to him on the phone, are you okay with coming back? And right away, he's another great human being. So he's like, absolutely, coach, and no hard feelings anywhere. And I was the same way. Hey, I made the mistake. And again, you make so many decisions during the season that some of them are not always right. And as long as you admit to it, and we're all going to make mistakes. And he came back with the perfect attitude, saying, whatever you have for me, whatever job, I'm ready to do it. And he took a low salary to make sure he's here in Peoria, because with our salary caps, I always say, a lot of times the lower you go, the more chance you have to stay, depending on what's coming. Because there's always players. I have guys on protected lists that want to come back. There's always have those lines in the water looking for different things to make sure you improve your team. But he came in and he took what was left on the salary cap, and he's absolutely took any job. I asked him, I said, have you ever played center? He's like, not really, but I'll do whatever it takes. And now he's become one of our best centermen. So, again, I made a lot of mistakes over my 7-year career in Peoria, and one of them was letting go of Zach, but now bringing him back was one of the best moves also. So, but you have to have good people to understand that, and he came in with that unbelievable attitude.
All right, let's tell people about you. Go ahead. We got you here.
Yeah.
You're playing so well.
Thank you.
You're a Buffalo kid.
No, I'm actually from Toronto.
Toronto.
Went to school in Buffalo.
Okay.
Just outside of Toronto, from Ajax.
So when you got released in camp,
Yeah.
you drove all the way home to...
I drove to Buffalo to visit my girlfriend, and then when I was talking to everybody, I didn't know the process of how long I was going to be gone for, so I was going to stay in Buffalo for a little bit, and then that Monday I was going to drive back to Toronto and spend the week there until I got a call with my family. But then it was just quicker than I expected, which is no problem at all. But
you had just gotten there. Right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. It was
he calls and...
Yeah.
I called him on the way.
He called me on the way home.
He left on the way home. So no matter what the situation, Zach had to go back to get a P1.
Yeah.
So that was the situation because he came in on a B1 for ECHL camp, correct?
Yeah.
Where was that again? In Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he had to
We're talking immigration.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So he had to go back to the border no matter what.
Yeah.
And even when I released him, I didn't want to release him. There was a few different reasons for it. And I called him on the way that he was driving home. I'm like, well, if ever I need you in 3 days, would you come back? Because I had a feeling some guys wouldn't fit in what we're trying to do. But I wanted to give him a chance because I promised them that I would give him a look. And I'm a man of my words. I wanted to give him a look before they left. Zach came in that we didn't expect him that year.
Yeah.
He got released from Cincy. I remember him from the years past, so he came to Peoria. But I called him on the way when he was driving back home. Hey, if I need you in 3 days, just a heads up. I think I'm going to need you in 3 days. So, because I had a feeling about 1 or 2 players that they just weren't going to, and we saw it right away in the first game, they just weren't going to cut the way we do things. And then I called him back, and he went through the border, got his P1, and on his way back.
How much driving? 20 hours, I think Andrew told me.
Yes, 20 hours, about 1,000 miles in 4 days.
I think it was 3. I could be wrong.
Or it was Thursday. I left Thursday.
You were back Sunday night.
Yeah, I left Thursday. I found out Tuesday night that was being released. Wednesday morning, talked to coach. Sat around Wednesday. And then Thursday I left in the morning.
Right.
And then I came back. Saturday night, Guy texted me, hey, go to the border in the morning. We want to bring you back. So Sunday morning I came back.
Great adventure.
We always joke about the team. I didn't even miss a yoga class.
Didn't
miss a yoga class.
That's dedication.
Well, you've done a lot of research on Zach. Go ahead, take us through what you know about him.
Well, I know. I mean, I wouldn't say I know everything. Zach's more the guy to say it, but I mean, he's tied for the all-time leading games played for Buffalo State College, which is their NCAA D3 program, and obviously, he was the final cut for our team. But I came back Sunday, so the players and the staff, we kind of all live together and lobby around, and I came back Sunday and I heard things upstairs. It's like you thought somebody broke in, and I texted Cam. I'm like, "Is there somebody here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Nemo's upstairs." I'm like, "Oh okay, Zach's back," But obviously too, the other thing that really helped him, I think, and we'll see what happens this weekend. But not a natural center, he plays a center, and for all the credit that Darren McCormick is getting, and you had him on here last week. McCormick is a great kid. He's an awesome guy. But Zach has kind of quietly helped him along. If you look at a lot of where those passes are going, that Darren's breaking through D and getting down into those kind of partial breakaways, a lot of times it's coming from Nemo's tape. So, and on top of it, that weekend that he was there in Macon, he had 2 goals the first game, which one of them was a shorthanded goal. The next game, he has 2 assists. So, I mean, he's putting up points. That helps keep you in the lineup and playing valuable minutes.
Is it difficult, or are you comfortable as a center?
I'm comfortable now. I had a lot of talks with Guy after. I still talk to him every practice about, where I should be, what I should do here. And during the game, I'll talk to him, because not playing center, it's the hardest forward position in the D zone, just because you have to be you have to be in so many different spots. But no, I think it was just learning, and now I'm comfortable. Now it's fine. Offensive zone, you're just playing hockey. Neutral zone, you're just playing hockey. It's really just in the D zone that you need to be, helping your D and supporting.
In your system, that position is
because
position,
you just have different releases.
Yeah,
and love my wingers, don't trust them. So my centers do a lot of the work down low, the grinding work. So they're really a defenseman, and then they have certain releases because we don't play a man-on-man when it goes to the point. So they have certain releases. They have to know if it's above the hash mark, below the lash mark, and you know how hockey goes fast. Like we talk slow here, but during a play, if a D gets a puck and pass it somewhere that's below the hash mark, then it's not as released, and he has to know where to go next. So there's a little bit more thinking than a winger, which a winger goes, the puck goes to the point to this D. In my system, they're just going after the D at 100 miles an hour. The center and the D have to do all the thinking, or the boxing outs, or the releases, and all those things. So they have to be thinking the game a little bit more. Yes,
that center is the key position
to me
in your system.
If I always say this. Defensively, my 2 Ds and my centers, if you play for me long enough, you'll know exactly your job and you'll be very good at it, or you won't be here. We win games with our wingers because if our wingers get the puck out and they don't allow their D to shoot the puck at all, we're good because they're so good.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So it all comes together because those guys are so good. I know if the puck goes somewhere, we'll be fine. The only thing I worry about is my wingers allowing somebody in the slot, or their D getting a puck, getting a shot through. So that's a stat I keep, and the guys don't know this, but every time a winger goes to his point and a shot goes through, I call it a minus, and I get upset. So then maybe the next practice we'll have block shots with that winger, or whatever we have to do to make sure it doesn't happen again that the puck goes through. So all those things come together because my centers and my Ds are very good at understanding what they have to do down low. Then it's all about the wingers. If they can only do their job, we're fine. We give nothing.
What was your entry into the game? I mean, how old were you, and what's the story?
I must have been 5. The 5 started skating in Canada, backyard rinks all growing up. But when I was younger, the winters were cold, so we had all the outdoor rinks. Now going back home, you can't have an outdoor rink anymore. But playing minor hockey back home, played juniors, college. Not a typical route as most people. Never played the top level AAA. 16-year-old, everyone gets drafted. I was playing a league above house league. I got at 16 years old. I had a goalie coach I worked for, and he was like, "Hey, you want to go to a junior A skate?" And I was like, "What's that?" He goes, like the Whitby Fury. I was like, "Sure." So I went when I was 16. Every weekend I went to a different junior A camp, paid my $200 dummy fee that everyone pays. Went every weekend. I was at a different camp. Never made a team. 17 years old, did the same thing. Never made a team. I played 18 years old. Never made a team. Got cut for junior C, and then finally made a junior team at 19 years old. And I got 16 years old. I got a personal trainer. I got a skating coach. I got a skills coach. Now I'm here.
Persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a college degree out of it.
What's your degree in?
Economics and finance.
Yeah. So
don't plan on using it, but I have it.
Someday you'll have to use it.
Hopefully not.
What do you want to be post hockey?
All I ever know is hockey. So hockey, in the summer I work for a skating school, and I do a little bit of work with my skills coach as well. I help him with younger kids. I have a younger brother. He's 10. So my dad coaches his team back home. So in the summer I help run that. I don't obviously get paid for that, but I've been told I've been pretty good with kids and pretty good at running, their team practices, their team dry land, their team workouts. So I'd probably want to get into stay into hockey, stay in running my own hockey school, skills, coach, and something like that.
Well, make sure you give a shout out to your family. Brother's name?
Yeah, I got a little brother. He's 10, Braden.
Braden.
Yeah,
and your dad?
My dad, Ray, mom, Marie, and my sister, Kirsten.
All right. You're covered now.
Yeah,
the holidays are coming up here next week. You don't want them mad at you.
No.
So growing up, I imagine Maple Leafs fan.
Nope.
No.
Devils fan.
How'd that happen?
You know what? When I was
Easy. You're all right.
Look at him right now.
already,
Must have met Jeremy at a young age.
no, just your typical kid. I had a family friend who was probably 2 or 3 years older than me, and our parents, Saturday night hockey, watched the Leaf game every week. But the kid was a Devils fan, and I was a little bit younger than him, so we kind of against our parents. Like my dad's a diehard Leafs fan. His dad was a Leafs fan. And we were just like, no, that's against our parents kind of thing. And back then, I will admit, the Devils were good. So I kind of bandwagoned a little bit. But then I just stuck with them. Then they won a couple cups, and now they're struggling. But, yeah.
Okay.
St. Louis did it, so we can do it.
Poor dad. You have an opportunity here to apologize to your dad for that.
No, it's okay.
If you want.
He knows.
Sticking with him.
He knows.
Favorite NHL player growing up?
Joe Thornton.
Why?
Because when I was in minor hockey, I was a centerman, and I thought that he wasn't a shoot-first kind of guy. And when I was younger, I was a passer. So as a centerman, passing, and he could score if he wanted. And then he's a bigger guy. So when I was in high school, I was a bigger centerman. So I kind of like to model my game after him.
And, we ask everybody in that chair every week, if you could play an NHL shift, one shift, who would you want on your line with you?
Oh, I'm a huge Sid fan. I'd have to play with Crosby. And then Joe. I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So there'd be a lot of people in the middle. Because that's
Three centers.
They're smart enough to
Very busy
They're a little
middle.
smart. They can move.
they can move.
They can move around. They're smart.
I can see that headline right now. They can move.
Yeah, they're smart.
All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys. That's this week with the Rivermen. We'll be back again. Well, it's Thanksgiving next Thursday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
We might have to do something special, live maybe from Coach's house, and just have everybody over there.
You want? Tell me. Just send me the menu you want. We'll make it happen.
It's very complicated. Buddy.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
Turkey and a couch.
Turkey and a couch.
There you go.
It's pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Well, that's it for the Journal Star Sportswriters Rivermen edition. For Jean-Guy Trudel and Andrew Mossbrooks and Zach Nieminen, nailed it.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.